we're going to definitely spend a lot of time looking at back screens today. So just an editor's note on this one. This is not particularly a complete how-to video or anything like that. This is just a laptop some friends dropped off, and I'm just a retired guy that is interested in this sort of thing. So I thought I said I'd have a look at it and do what I could, clean it up, put a new copy of Windows on it. Didn't need any licensing on it because it already had a copy of Windows on it before, so that was no problem. If you've got a laptop and you don't have a license, then if you get online you can get OEM licenses and whatnot, or even full licenses fairly cheap online. So someone's dropped off a Lenovo IdeaPad 110 because it's going to a new home. So they want me to just clean it up and reinstall Windows. It's playing up something shocking. It's also the slowest laptop I think I've seen in a while. It's AMD A10, which was not the most lightning fast super processor ever made. So this could be fun. Personally, I whack Linux on it might be the way to go, but here we are. So first thing, we'll get on and get our media creation tool and make a USB. So let's just try that. Blah blah blah, download, create Windows 10 installation media, download tool. Now probably have done this tool before, but 21H2, so we'll be up to date that way because I have no idea what I've got. Okay, getting a few things ready. What do we got here? I probably should use a slightly better flash drive, but that one will do. I'm always giving away flash drives, so I buy cheap ones in bulk and they don't last long. Okay, create. Next, Windows 10. Yeah, because I'm fairly confident that that will not use Windows 11. That'll do. Needs to be at least 8 gig. Yes, please. Removable drive. That looks like it. And that will take a while. Well, while we wait, we might have a quick look up of that processor, which is a A8. What is it? I wrote it down, 7410. Get an exact look at it. Oh, it does have 4 cores. Okay, well, that's good. It's got 4 cores, 4 threads. It's better than I thought. I thought it might be a 2-core, but yeah, it is a 4-core. Only 4 threads, unfortunately. That's old tech. 2.5 gigahertz. Okay, anyway, so 4 cores, 2.5 gigahertz. What have we got going on in this thing? It is now creating. It's downloaded, and now it's creating at 53%. 90 degrees. Part of me is tempted to pull this machine apart. I know it's probably been in a fairly dusty environment. I'm tempted to pull it apart and check the fan, but I probably won't. It's got some warm air coming out of it. We'll check it later. A bit of load. Maybe I can put a temp monitor on there and see what it's doing. Not the greatest CPU out there. I do believe this is just going to be used for browsing. Just getting on the net. I don't know how they're going to get on the net exactly. I assume they've got Wi-Fi or something. That's just about done. At the same time I'm doing this, I was over there trying to see if I could get Linux to boot, which it hasn't, so on live CD, so that may be a fail. Not sure why. Fairly sure it's an AMD video, so it should work, but 99% of, is that creating? Yes. Not quick. And your USB flash drive is ready. Thank you. So main thing we're going to have to do with this thing is boot up into the BIOS and make sure we can boot from a USB. So on most of these, well, this one in particular is a F2, sometimes it's delete, but I do believe it's F2 on this one, which is probably function F2, if I can get it to start. Spam the F2. Okay, so I'll probably send up photos of this, but essentially you've got to go to boot. I'll add a photo of that. I've already done this here. Looks like it's function F5 and F6 to move them up and down, keys to move around. So essentially, yeah, you got to get that. I'll put USB hard drive on the top, and then once you've got that all done, just save and exit. Configuration, yeah. So make sure that way it will boot from the USB. So yeah, that's pretty easy. So we have our bootable install disk for Windows 10 from the media creation tool. Kick that up and hopefully it'll go. Every time I push this button I wonder, is it actually going to go? It is so slow. And unfortunately this is a very slow process. Languages to install, that will do for now. Time and currency, what do we got? We've got Australia, mate. What else have we got here? That's about it for that. Keyboard, US, yes. Next, please install away. I don't need to repair, just install it. Clean this rubbish up. Don't know what's on here, and apparently it doesn't matter. And this is the best sort of thing to get a laptop like this where nobody cares what's on there, just clean it up, it's going away. And that may take a while, unfortunately. Mostly installing Linux lately. A few less hoops to jump through, I think sometimes with Linux. So let's try this. I want to start again. Can I just delete all these partitions? I'm going to say to hell with it and try and delete as many partitions as I can and start with a just completely blank version of Windows, because this machine is super slow, and the lighter I can get something on there the better, and if it works it works, if it doesn't, oh well. So I've deleted all the partitions and said to heck with it, and I'm gonna try start from scratch and just see what I get up with. This is the beauty about someone giving you a PC that they know nothing about much, you don't care about, and the new person getting it doesn't know anything either, so I can pretty much do what I want here and see what happens. So yes, it's going to take a while, so I dare say I'll be going away to do other things and coming back to this every once in a while to see how it's going. Well, that's up to 98% on getting files ready. I tell you, this is a fairly slow machine. This is a 2015. I suppose it is a low power machine, which is good. I mean, the low power, if you don't need a lot of power, then this thing probably runs on nothing, so it's fairly light. I don't know what sort of battery life it has. Of course the battery is 6 years old now, so lucky it's low power, because otherwise it wouldn't last any time at all. I mean, I don't know when it's even been charged last, and it did last quite a while on what battery it had when I was mucking around with it before, when I wasn't doing anything too hard with it. It is now going to do a restart, so I dare say we're going to have a few restarts. While we wait, we can say, "Hey Rick," or Ricky's just saying, "Can you put me down now? I was having a nice sleep." Poor old Ricky has no idea. He just doesn't know, he doesn't care. He just wants to lay on the floor and have a sleep. But we're installing Windows. At this stage, one might be tempted to say, Windows is terrible, Windows is slow, look how long it takes to install Windows. But to be fair, I just think this is a really, really slow laptop, so not quite fair to Microsoft. So that's gone into another restart, and we're back to black screen. That took quite a while. I mean, what are we at? 4:13. I forget what time we started, but it's been quite a while. Been out and had a drink, and it's still going. Doing another reboot. So I mean, to be fair, I need to install Linux on here. If I could, I certainly would give it a go, because this is terrible. Oh, we have a blue screen. It's a just a moment blue screen. I'll come back in just a moment then. It's been on just a moment, considerably longer than just a moment. Number one thing, turn off Cortana. Yes, we're in Australia. Thank you, mate. Keyboard layout, yes. No, I don't need a second keyboard layout. We will connect to my local Wi-Fi. Okay, I admit it, I much prefer installing Linux. It just seems to go so much smoother than Windows installed. I mean, they're both easy enough, I suppose, but it just feels more painful. And we have a black screen again. You never see this many reboots on a Linux install. Now we get into the interesting part. So at this point I created an account, made up an email, set up an email and created an account for them. So yeah, now we just create a pin so they can get in. I do notice more so than ever on this this install of Windows, it seems to have got even worse to get through all the hoops of the commercializations. Definitely getting worse, and like I say, most of the things I've installed lately have been Linux, so it seems to be a lot of declines here. I'm thinking again, maybe I should have installed some version of Linux on here. Well, that was painful, that really was. I'm tempted to not set up much more, but I will. I do want to just check temps and things like that, but it is cleaned up. I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff they're probably not going to use. We are charging still. That was painful, and we're now 4:43. I don't know when we started. It feels like a long time. Part of that is this really slow computer, which I'm going to do a bit of testing on in a minute. And of course there is a whole bunch of updates which shouldn't take too long to download, at least because we have got reasonable internet connection here. How long it will take to install is another matter. We shall see. So while I waited for it to do an update, I thought, well, I'll install things like CPU-Z and maybe Core Temp or something. And everything is super slow. Just it's pretty painful. But I will persevere, and I'll try and get some Core Temps here if it kills me. So not particularly promising. We've got a temperature of 85. It's running at 2.4 gigahertz. Cores are pretty loaded up, and all we're doing is updating. I mean, that is a pretty big chore for a little computer, I suppose. It'll be interesting to see what it is like when it's not updating, but at the moment that's running pretty hard. There is some heat coming out of there. I'm not feeling a lot. It does worry me that perhaps it's a bit blocked. Still feel like I need to pull it apart. I have no idea how hard this is to pull apart. That's hot, but there's not a lot of air coming out, and really at that sort of temperature you'd think it would be blowing quite a bit. Fan is running pretty hard. I'm not sure what that throttle's at, but I'm assuming 90 maybe, or I don't know about that sort of vintage. Maybe it'll go a bit hotter. 82 at the moment. It has settled down a little bit. Not looking too impressive there. But anyway, we'll see how it's going once it's updated. That's going to take a while. So it's now 5:20, and this update is at 21%. I'm not sure it's going to finish in my lifetime, but I will do some filming if it ever does. I might have a new camera by then, I'm not sure. But we'll see. If I'm looking a little bit tired, I am. This is making me sleepy. So here we are at 5:40, and we have got a restart. You do have to admit, Linux updates are way quicker. And we're back to a login at last after our update, and it's only 5:57, what? 5:45. Important tip when you're installing Windows and updating Windows, always just have something else to do, because it takes a while. So now it's settled down a bit. It's still running at 50 something degrees, which seems a bit warm. We'll have a look at cleaning it out shortly, but that is running a little bit on the warm side. It's supposed to be a low power CPU, right? So with CPU-Z on there, it's got a multi-core performance that's about like a original Ryzen single core performance of what is that, 493? That sounds very Ryzen-y. And of course the single thread performance is interesting. If we stress it with this is a good simple way of just getting a bit of load on the CPUs. Interestingly enough, it doesn't see it says it's getting full load on the CPUs, but doesn't seem to really stress it as much as some things. And that's 70 degrees. That was fun, and it's only like about 6 o'clock. I can't remember when I started, but it feels like a long time ago. I haven't been doing this the whole time. I've been doing other things, fortunately, watching a bit of TV, made some coffees, went for a walk. It's a nice little Sunday afternoon, and we're in the tropics here, so it stays light pretty late, and it is still light, and I'm sort of relying on outside light a bit. I have got my an LED beam light up there, but it is starting to set, and I'm feeling sleepy. I miss my nap. You know, I'm old, I've got to have my nap. And editing me decided he needed a nap as well, so I'm going to divide this into 2 parts. The fairly brief and boring software section of installing Windows, which I didn't really detail. I'll save the little hardware excursion for part 2. Subscribing and liking means more fluff.